Hey everybody, welcome to Beyond Bricks. I am your host, Kevin Stewart, and today is a beautiful day. Today is a wonderful day, and today we are going to talk about spring and summer. We're going to talk about a subject that I enjoy, which is cleaning. I know that sounds super weird. I know that you're thinking cleaning. Who on earth likes cleaning? Nobody likes cleaning. Cleaning stinks. I love cleaning. I think that cleaning and having a clean space around you is a very important part of your life. And most people don't know this, but I actually have a little OCD in me. I have some issues in me that require me to have a neat and tidy space. I'm a list maker. I have to be organized. For someone who's a salesperson and for somebody who's constantly and consistently in front of people and a go, go, go type person and an extremely extroverted person, an odd part of who I am is the fact that I'm extremely neat and tidy. I'm a neat freak. All the way through my life, my parents would laugh when I was young. They would joke and they thought it was funny. And they would tell people all the time about how I would play with toys. The way that I would play with toys when I was young is I would take out, for example, my cars, all of my micro machine cars, and I would line them up. I'd line them up in a line and I'd play with them two at a time and then put them back. When I would play with my Ninja Turtles or my G.I. Joes, I would go and I would set them up in these like scenes, and then I'd play with one or two and then put them back in their scene. Because for some reason, having everything in its place was super important to me. It just made my brain more fun and more functional. I've always been that way. And I have tons of days and tons of times when I'm in the office and I have a lot to do and a lot to get done. And the first thing that I have to do in order to release my brain to go be great and go be creative is I have to make sure that I'm organized. I have to make sure that everything is in its place and in order. It's just a part of who I am. And that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's a good thing. I believe my wife appreciates it at times because I'm constantly cleaning our kitchen and cleaning our house. I like things to be put in their place. I have a hard time relaxing in the evening if I don't have a clean kitchen. So I'm constantly doing dishes. I'm making sure everything is put together and put in order. Once everything's clean and wiped down, then I can go sit on the couch and relax. That's what helps my brain release and calm down and finally allow it to kind of do what it has to do in order for me to finish my day. So it got me thinking about spring cleaning and the spring cleaning projects and the weather we have outside and the beauty we have that's on its way. Actually, I would say it's here. And the beauty that's on its way with summertime and all the fun we're going to have and the things we're going to do and how much spring cleaning becomes a part of that. For me, there's two projects that I do every single year when I do spring cleaning. The first is my garage. So I start with my garage every single year. I go out in my garage, I pull the cars out, I get rid of all of the dirt and the muck and the salt and all of the stuff that's on the ground. I get the leaf blower out and blow everything out of the garage. I tend to take everything out of the garage. I don't know, my dad did this when I was young and I remember helping him. We would take everything out of the garage, put it all in the driveway, borderline emptying the space. And what we would do is he would sweep. He would never let me be in there because he didn't want me to breathe in the dust. I do remember that. He was always taking care of me. But then as soon as he was done sweeping, we would go put everything back and we would make it super neat and tidy and the garage would be perfect. I still do that to this day. I actually sometimes do it a couple times a year, but this time of year, I always do it because I have to change over. I have to change some things to get them put back together so that I can continue through my year. So that's one thing that I do. I always spring clean my garage. While I'm spring cleaning my garage, I tend to get rid of some things. I tend to toss some things out. I tend to remove some things that were in the garage that maybe just piled up and were there and are no longer needed. Or maybe some toys from the kids that they no longer play with that are broken. But I clean things out and remove some items to therefore make the space more usable. The second thing that I do that's very important to me this time of year is I spend a lot of time working on the yard. Now, I can tell you this year, I actually had a company come do it. I typically like a company to come do it because They have more time and can do it in one day, where it's going to take me a couple of weekends to really make it the way I want. But I had a company come out and do it this year, and they're doing the edging the mulch beds, putting in the mulch, trimming all the trees, and just making the yard look perfect and beautiful. That's an important one for me. Having a space that I can go to in the evening. I love, in fact, I would say the primary reason we purchased the home that we have right now is because of that backyard space. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It has, it backs to woods. It has trees. We have a lot of hardscape back there. We have 3 different sitting areas that all have fire pits. I'm a big fire pit guy. I love conversation with fire pits. I love listening to music around the fire pit. Maybe having a glass of bourbon and a cigar. I love that time around the fire pit at my house. So we have a few of them. So when we have people over, we can have a good amount of people out there all enjoying time together. I put a lot of music out there. I made an investment in sound in my backyard. We have a really, really nice speaker system in our backyard. So when I'm back there, I can turn on music and enjoy, as you've heard me say before, enjoy the feelings of music, enjoy what that makes me feel like, and get myself in this beautiful headspace and enjoy the time that I have. But having that backyard neat and tidy is super important. There was a couple of years ago, and it was actually when I was going through some really hard stuff. I was going through some hard times, and I was not in a good place mentally. You've heard me talk about this before, and then a lot of the process of coming out of that and getting back to who I was and refinding the person I was meant to be. And I remember being in my backyard, and we hadn't done anything with it, and I had just completely let it go. There was weeds everywhere, and it was driving me crazy. I didn't even want to be back there. And I remember calling my parents, and I said, I need my backyard. I need it. I need it desperately. I emotionally need to be able to go back there, but I need help. I can't do it. This yard is a complete mess right now. Next day, guess what happened? That weekend, my parents showed up. They brought the troops, and we got that yard looking good again. And it was so important at the time for my mental transition to make sure that my space, that my happy place looked the right way and didn't look like it was disheveled and didn't have junk everywhere and didn't have all those things all over. It was important to me for my mentality and for the mental stability that I needed at the time to grow and become who I was supposed to be. So this got me thinking about the inventory that we do and looking at our lives and saying, what is it that we need to clean up? What is it? What parts of the garage do we need to clean up? And it made me think of a project. And this is where the parallel is going to come in today, and where we're going to focus the majority of our time and attention to this. And it's a challenge I'm going to give myself. I have not done it yet, even though it's been discussed very regularly with myself and my wife. But you guys can hold me accountable. Everybody out there, I'm going to challenge you to do the exact thing that I'm going to do, but I am open to being held accountable to it. Is I am going to clean out my closet. I'm going to clean out my closet at home. I am a accumulator. I don't know why, but I've fluctuated weight, so maybe that's part of it. I've gone up and down and fluctuated weight. I've had times where I'm in incredible shape. I've had times where I'm not, and then I have times where I am right now where I'm kind of in the middle. And we have some pretty large closets at our house. They're really cool to have, but when you have a large closet, the unfortunate part is you accumulate a lot of stuff. And myself and my wife have been discussing the fact that, goodness, we need to go through this thing. I mean, there are suits in that closet that I bet you I have not put on in 10 years that I can almost guarantee you there's no world where those suits fit. In fact, recently I went and purchased a new suit at LeConte, awesome men's clothing shop here in Rochester. And I went and they took great care of me and fitted me for a new suit. And I realized that because I've been working out so consistently, you heard in the episode from last week with Doug Ferner, I've been working out and had a lot of consistency inside the gym. So I've put on a lot of weight on my upper body. Most of my jackets inside of my closet don't fit anymore. Most of my suits don't fit anymore, at least not comfortably, not where I'm going to enjoy my evening if I'm wearing that suit. So I went out and got a new suit. And I was in there with Molly, and we're looking at the clothes and all the things that are there. And I'm sitting here going, well, man, that's a good look. That's a good look. I think I need to step up my wardrobe a little bit again. Like, this could be fun. This could be a neat thing to do. I was wanting to create something new. I was wanting to bring in a new feel and a new vibe into my life through clothing. But what do I need to do first? I've got to clean out my closet. In order to provide space for what's new, I have got to find a way to remove some things in order to provide space. I think you guys can see where I'm going with this. Is the closet is a metaphor for your life. We hold a lot of things into our closet in life. We hold a lot of relationships. We have people in our life that we know shouldn't be there, that we need to remove so we can have space for others or people that we should be investing our time into. We have a lot of things, habits, relationships, beliefs, all sorts of things that are in our lives that we need to take an inventory of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out my closet and I'm going to take an inventory check. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to simultaneously inventory my life, inventory the parts of my life, and I'm going to spring clean my life. I'm going to look at everything that I have and I'm going to say, does this still work for me? Does this still fit? Is this still the right thing? Is this something? Put it on and say, when I'm going through my closet and I'm putting on suits, is this a jacket I still like? Okay, maybe I'll have it altered. Maybe I'll just make an adjustment on this, but I want to keep it because I like it. It looks good and I feel good in it. Maybe I put on a jacket and go, oof, I don't even know why I purchased this. This is not right for me. This is not something I'm going to wear. I'm going to give that away. Maybe I'm going to try on some t-shirts that are old and worn out and go, it served me well. Served me well for a long time. But I think it's time for that to go. I think it's time for that to go because it's served its purpose fully. And it's time for me to just let that go. How about you? Are you doing the same thing? Are you taking that inventory of your life? Are you taking the inventory of the things around you and deciding what's right and what's not right? What's good for you and what's not good for you? I'm going to decide all those things because number one, the environment that I'm living in matters. My closet's my environment. The environment of that matters. But having the space put together in the right way and making sure the right things are in the space daily is what's truly important. So what do you need to purge out of your closet? What are the things that you need to remove out of your closet? So I wrote down 5 ways, 5 reasons to clean out the closet. And these all have to do with, of course, removing actual clothing in your life, but also the parallel to life itself and the things that we have to do. So the first is we have to let go of what no longer serves us. Like I was saying a little bit ago, I have jackets that no longer serve me. I have suits that no longer serve me. I have sweaters, t-shirts, dress shirts. Goodness, guys, I tried on a dress shirt for this wedding. I went to button it here and I couldn't even get the buttons closed because I've gained enough body in my upper weight. That shirt is not going to happen. That shirt's probably going to get removed. It's going to get given away to somebody else. It's no longer serving a purpose in my life. All it's doing is taking up space. It's taking up space inside my closet. So I need to remove it. I need to make room for other things. What else do you have? What are the other old clothes? What habits have you had? What are the habits that you've had in your life forever? Guys, there are habits that I've had for a long time that I developed at some point that if I'm fully honest with myself and I fully believe in the things and the person that I want to be, they're habits I probably should remove. I'm going to have to be honest. Just like putting on a t-shirt that maybe one day a long time ago I loved, or a shirt or a jacket that I really, really liked. And I may put it on and go, you know what? This no longer serves my purpose moving forward. It's not working anymore. I don't like it anymore. It's not really right for me. I'm going to pass that on. I'm going to move that and remove that from my life. Relationships, that's a big one. I spoke about that a little bit ago. I have done, I believe, a very good job over the last year of taking a look at my relationships. Now, that is a constant battle, but the relationships are important to constantly evaluate who are you holding around your life? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Because we all know that the people we surround ourselves with become a part of us. So who are you surrounding yourself with? Is there people that you have in your life right now that maybe served a purpose at one point, but don't now? That's okay. Guys, that's okay. People come and go out of our lives for a reason and a season. And it's okay if that season ends and changes. It's perfectly fine. How about some grudges? How about some grudges that you had in your life, some pain or frustration or trauma that you've had in your life that you need to let go of? You need to remove that from your life because it sure as heck isn't helping you. You held that pain for a while and maybe you used that pain. Maybe you used that to become who you are. But at some point, you're going to have to remove it from your closet because it's not going to let you be who you're supposed to be next. What pain, what grief do you have that maybe you need to let go? Maybe grudges against other people that maybe you need to let go and be okay moving forward. What about goals? We don't think about that one. I'm a big goal setter. I've been a big goal setter my whole life. And I think really for the last 15 plus years, at least, I have written down goals every single year. And I can tell you, I believe that there's some run-on, we're going to call them run-on goals that go on there every single year. But if I'm being truthful with myself, I'm not sure they matter to me as much anymore. As I've been thinking through this and doing the inventory in my closet and doing the inventory on my life, I think there's some goals that I've had that maybe don't matter to me anymore. Guys, my purpose has changed. I'm on the 2.0 of my career and the 2.0 of my life, and I get an opportunity to go to the next level. And so there's some things that at one point were important to me that now just seem to have faded into the background. They don't matter as much. That's okay. It's okay for me to remove those goals from my life and put new goals in their place. So let go of what no longer serves you. And the reason to let go of those things is because you're going to make space for what's new. If you remove a relationship that's toxic in your life, a relationship that's not working for you, what does it do? It creates space for a new person to enter. If you remove a goal that's no longer serving its purpose, you get to replace it with another beautiful goal and another beautiful thing that you want to do. You can take those grudges and you can take that pain and frustration and replace it with love, replace it with compassion, replace it with grace. If you don't remove those things, you don't have space for the other things that you need and the things that are going to make you great. So you're going to have the opportunity to make new space. We get worried when we take things out of our life. I am going to remove things out of my closet. And when I look at it, it's probably going to feel a little bit empty. And I think that there may be some times, and I think the reason we hold on to some of those items in our closet for some reason is because we're scared of the loss. We're scared of them going away. Maybe we're scared and have fear of the emptiness it's going to leave behind. But emptiness isn't loss, it's opportunity. Emptiness is an opportunity for something more, an opportunity for what's next. I've learned that and I've found that out over the last few years because I've had some times, guys, where I felt very empty. Some times where my life didn't feel fulfilled at all. I felt like I was just running through the motions. But once I started removing things from my life that needed to go away, I was able to start being fulfilled again. And I was able to fill my cup back up. And now I'm getting my cup to the point where I can't wait for it to even overflow. I'm able to do that because I removed things and I created space. I made space for what's new in my life. I have some people in my life and some relationships in my life right now that I don't think I can imagine being without them right now. some amazing relationships that mean so much to me. Those people aren't in my life if I don't remove some other people from my life. They're just not, because I wouldn't have made space for them. I just wouldn't have. And I can look back now and say, goodness, making that change was important. I'm going to go through and I'm going to clean out all those old suits that don't fit. I'm going to give some of them away to maybe some individuals that are a little smaller than me, maybe some guys that are in their 20s. There's some donation companies that I know of that I'm going to use those suits to bless some other people. I'm going to remove them to create space on that shelf so I can bring in the new ones, to bring in something that's fresh, that's different, that brings some excitement, that the first handful of times I put it on, I feel amazing. Guys, that's going to be fun. And it's going to be important to the growth of who I want to be. The third thing, and this is a big one, you've got to face what you've been avoiding. You've got to declutter the mess of your life. You have to confront the things that you know you need to remove now. And you need to get rid of the clutter. You need to get rid of the mess. We all, I believe, inherently, for some reason, have an avoidance issue. I know I do. I think people avoid certain things because of the fear of the pain of the loss, all those types of things. But we have an avoidance issue. And doing an inventory of your life and an inventory of all of the spaces and pieces of your life, you have to find a way to face that. You have to face who you are. You have to face what you've become and then have the courage to change it. Have the courage to remove those things and have the courage to move forward. But you have to face what you've been avoiding. The fourth thing, you have to be super intentional with what you keep. So let me go back to the jacket idea. I've got a couple of jackets that I put on that right away I was like, goodness, I could rock this with jeans. I could wear this with a t-shirt underneath. I could put a simple dress shirt. I could even do, you guys see me in hoodies a lot. I could do a thin hoodie underneath that. That could be a really cool look. And I like the jacket, but you want to know what? It doesn't quite fit. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go see one of my favorite tailors and I'm going to take that into him and say, hey, Nabil, can you find a way to make this awesome again? I'm going to make it new. I'm going to make it fit for what I am now. I'm just going to make some adjustments. I'm going to make some tweaks. I'm going to work on that jacket a little bit and go to him and say, can you help me make this work again? Make it fit again and make it feel comfortable again. That's a simple thing. Now I'm going to have some other suits and some other jackets that I'm going to go through and they're not going to fit anymore. And they're not going to fit for what I want anymore. So I'm going to give them away. I'm going to remove them. You have to be intentional about what you keep. And the things that you keep, you have to have a purpose and a reason behind it. You have to look at all the things in your life and be intentional and say, is this important? Is this going to get me where I want to go? And then be intentional once you decide to keep it. I heard someone say once, they were doing this exercise and they were doing it with golf shirts. And it was a friend of mine who has a lot of golf shirts. And he went through this exercise over the course of a year. He faced all of his golf shirts one direction. And he intentionally told himself, he said, I'm going to go through a year. And he said, when I put golf shirts back, I'm going to face them the other direction. And at the end of the year, if I haven't worn a shirt, I know it's not serving its purpose anymore. It's something that I just don't feel anymore. I'm not vibing with it. I don't look at it and go, man, I'm going to wear that today. I'm going to enjoy wearing this today. And then he goes, I'm going to give away all of those golf shirts. And he probably gave away close to half of his golf shirts because of it, because he wasn't wearing them. Guys, I've got the same thing all the way through my closet. I've got so many things that I haven't worn in so long. I'm going to do that inventory, but then be intentional on how I do it and how I remove it and have the intentionality to go through and say, yeah, it's just not working anymore. But it's the same thing in your life. The choices that you make and the choices that you decide to do when you are removing or keeping, the things that you keep are a direct reflection of who you are and who you want to become. So you have to be intentional and really think through the intentionality of what it is you're keeping and why you are keeping it. Is it pointing back to who you want to be, to the why of your life? Pointing back to your non-negotiables that you have in your life. You can see them over my left shoulder here. Is it pointing back to the things in your life that are the most important to you? Because the decisions you make and the habits that you have and the people that you keep, they're a reflection of who you're going to become and who you are right now. And the last thing is progress requires periodic assessment. Periodic assessment is super important to real progress. Life needs regular attention. We have to reevaluate, realign consistently. Guys, this isn't an exercise that I'm going to do once. This isn't an exercise that I believe you should do once and then stop. I think this is something that at bare minimum I need to do every year. I need to go through and clean out my closet, both physically and mentally, every single year. I need to go through it and make it a part of my routine to reassess and reevaluate so that I can make progress, so that I can make space for what's next. I have to make space inside my closet for the next evolution of what I want to be. It's super important to do that. Are you guys evaluating on a consistent basis? Are you doing this inventory process? My challenge to you, and I hope this episode has helped. I hope this episode has been important to you, because I can tell you, working on this episode has meant a lot to me. I've enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get started on it myself. Guys, this is a journey, and I've always told you that I'm going to be on the journey with you. Half the time, and a lot of times when I'm doing these episodes, I'm speaking to myself as much as anybody listening right now. I'm talking myself through these things and challenging myself, and this is one that I especially am challenging myself on personally. I hope that it meant a lot to you, and I hope that you heard it and felt it, and then, more importantly, will put it into practice. I hope that everyone will go put this into practice and find a way to make room for what's next. Guys, you have so much potential in your life. You have so much opportunity. You have so much that you are able to do. You have an incredible amount of gifts and talents. You have to find a way to make sure that you're giving the best of yourself to the world. Guys, every one of you has something important to give to this world, and they need it. Have a good day, guys. Bye.